Welcome to the second video on how to use Zotero with the SBL formatting, and this is the most important video, even though it won't be the longest, because this is in how to put sources into the Zotero program. So opening up Zotero, since you have it installed, the reason this is most important is because whenever you cite a source, this is how the computer draws how it should be cited. So here I have a couple examples, some commentaries, some journal articles. Let's look at a journal article first, how this would be cited. So here's Walt Kaiser's article, God's Promise Plan and His Gracious Law. If I open up here how I've inputted it in, if you're going to add a new source, you just go over here, click, you can do blog post, book section, journal article, thesis, and many more here. So the most common that you're going to use will be book section, which would be a chapter of a book. Like if there are multiple authors of the book, that's the one that you would use. You would also use journal article, and then there's also thesis writings would be the most common for academic. So here for the journal, notice that you have the author, last name, first name. You put those in. You put the title in up here. You can always change the type of source here as well. And you can fill in information if you want up here, but this is all you need essentially. So the journal itself that's published, and they just give the abbreviation here. But if you search to find out what JET stands for, it's Journal of the Evangelical Theological Society, which is important to know. The first number is the volume, second number is the issue, so 33.3. Some journals only give the volume, so sometimes you wouldn't list an issue. The pages range from 289 to 302, so that's important to put in there. And then it's published September 1990. Now you abbreviate the month just so that if it ever cites the month, well, actually I take that back because in SBL they don't cite the month, but you can put that in and it'll just draw the year anyway. From that. Now, another important thing to understand is that you need to put in a manual journal abbreviation, and so JETS is the abbreviation, so that way when you cite it, the computer will draw the abbreviation this way. So that's how you would cite a journal. Another example here would be the Master's Seminary Journal, abbreviated MSJ, fall 1999. Some journals list them by season and not by month. 213 to 32, volume 10, issue 2, the Mosaic Covenant, Barrick, William D. So journal articles are pretty easy. One thing that's important in knowing how to cite book sections is this. This is a chapter in a book. The chapter title is what you put in for the title, and the book title goes down here. So the chapter title is Genesis 2, 1 through 17, a foreshadowing of the new creation. Now notice also with this, I put in a short title, Genesis 2, 1 through 17, so whenever this is cited again, if you cite it more than once, it only uses the short title because you don't want to cite the whole title. Anything after a colon would be extra, a subtitle, and you don't want to be citing that every single time, so you just fill in the short title like this. So the author of the chapter is Dumbrell William J. The editor of the work is Hoffman Scott, or Hafeman Scott. I think that's probably how you pronounce it actually. The book is Biblical Theology, Retrospect and Prospect, and it was published in Downers Grove, published by InterVarsity, published in 2002, and the chapter ranges from pages 53 to 65. And that's how the information that you would put in to all this. Now that might seem like quite a bit, but it's handy because once you put it into your database, you don't need to recite everything, and it ends up working really well. One other source that's worth knowing how to put in is commentaries, because the important thing in putting the title, author, that's all the same, but the important thing you need to remember is putting in the series and series number. So the NAC stands for New American Commentary, so you can just put the abbreviation of the series, and you can put NAC, and then series number is 1A because there's 2 volumes on Genesis. Now notice we're not using the volumes, even though that's how you would refer to it. It's series, because commentaries are series, and that's where a lot of people mess up in putting commentaries in. So make sure you put the commentaries in the series and series number so that it'll cite it appropriately. then put the place, the publisher, and the date, and you're good to go. And so when you cite that, that'll show up in the appropriate way. All right, if you have any other questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, happy citing.